Yay! Welcome everyone to week 4 of the 12 weeks to wellness opulence. This week we are talking about the water element, hence all the blue that you see, and the organs that are associated with the water element are the kidneys, which are way more important than I think most of us had thought, along with the bladder. But before we get into this week's element and organs, we are going to do a little review of last week's week 3, which was the metal element with the large intestine and the lungs, and the focus kind of being letting go and being in the preciousness of the moment. So we're going to do some sharing because there's some of us were welcomed back by our gorgeous Kristen and Wister and Anna Zahn, also back from a glorious vacation where you guys were kind of immersed in the preciousness of the moment. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. You are so right.
Well, let's hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, I'd love to share.
Yeah.
I was in Bimini swimming with the dolphins, and I think anytime you go on vacation, you are letting go. So that was a really perfect place to let go. And plus I was on the water for 6 to 8 hours on a boat. And I really didn't think I was going to be able to manage that amount of time on a boat and being in the water and the sun and all that kind of stuff. But we had protection and the water was so dreamy. And I came with a lot of intentions for a lot of people and broadcasted it into the water, which felt really, really powerful. And we did a lot of letting go, a lot of healing work. And the dolphins just taught us so much. It was really amazing. And I'm going to be doing, after this, I'm going to be doing a meditation on it. So I'm not going to tell you too much, but I want to share it in my meditation with you guys. But it was an incredible week to let go and to flow.
How does it, when you're on vacation and an experience like that, like how does it feel to be in the preciousness of the moment for like that long every day? Like sometimes when you go on vacation, you're doing like tons of stuff, but you guys were just like on a boat swimming the whole time.
Yeah, it was different because I mean, it was really deep work that we did, but the amount of time that we spent on the boat was so nice. We weren't traveling from thing to thing to thing. And then, yeah, I mean, just being in, it was so precious to really experience the present moment for long periods of time, especially when we were in the water and watching the dolphins and what they were showing us about being completely present with everything that they do, from when they bickered together to when they played together to when they just all swam together in a pod or they'd separate. It was just fascinating to watch what they were doing and kind of mirror that presence, that joy, that freedom. It was amazing.
You know what that reminds me of is in our homework, when we say 7 minutes of doing nothing, I say, watch an animal to see what they do. And you literally were watching animals in the wild.
Yeah. The whole time was amazing.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to get to the meditation. We will get there. Anna, you were on vacay too. Tell us about being in the preciousness of the moment.
Gosh, so precious and so grateful that I got that time, especially as a business owner, a mom, being able to step back, like family member, friend, like I got to step out of all those roles and just really be present. And what I found was a lot of inner child energy unleashed. It was so much fun. I got to do paddle boarding and biking around the island, and it just was go dancing, be on a boat and just be by the water the whole time. Getting to see the ocean life and just paddle underneath mangroves and get stuck and go through all the like crazy adventures. And that's what it kind of felt like the whole time, was just like this adventure. We had no plan. Nothing was like organized or pre-prepared for us. It was just kind of like show up and just do whatever our heart was calling towards. And
that's the best.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And it was just such a good like refresher and just like an amazing way to tap back into that inner child nature that sometimes we put it aside sometimes as adults, and what our responsibilities are and that kind of stuff. And it's good to take a time out. It's good to step back and take a time out. We all need it. And I just felt so recharged after that, because I was in that life force energy, just like flowing and present and just doing anything my heart wanted in the moment. And so, yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, and I'm called, we don't, in this 12 weeks, we're pretty focused on, our organs and the elements and wellness, but I am kind of called to say right now that if anyone out there is planning on running Healy as a business, it's a different business. We're in the Aquarian model, a business model where we actually honor that. We are all on a team here. And when somebody needs to step away, they need to recharge, they need to be in the preciousness of the moment, it's honored. And when they come back, it's 10 times better because they bring experiences, they bring a new energy. And I just felt called to say that that's very important to this tribe.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, because it's really about team effort. It's like the Dolphin pod, that we all are in community together and we're supporting each other. It was really nice to go away and to know that this was taken care of, that I didn't have to think about it. And next week, Ashley's taking finally a vacation. So we've got her back when she goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have one more share. Linnell, you had also an amazing week of just running the programs and living in the preciousness of the moment. Could you just share quickly your experience?
Yeah, I suppose it was a little bit of, I remember sharing about seeing my totem animals, the wallabies, the mum and the bub up the back. And that was kind of last week moving into this week. And I am experiencing new beginnings in my life. And they appeared just like they did appear when I commenced the building of the lighthouse. It was a new era, a new beginning. So it felt really, it was very precious. It was very beautiful to experience that. And then this week, I was reminded, thankfully, by you, Ashley, to set an intention. And it was just about staying in my joyful state and being unattached to outcomes. I have a sister who's just returned from the US and a friend who I haven't seen for 3 years. And I have this community thing, this desire to bring everyone together. And it breaks my heart when I can't manage it. And I just told myself this time, just let it go, let people do what they need to do, put it out there and offer what's available and what you'd like to be able to facilitate. And the miracle occurred. Everyone is getting together in different little batches. And it has just, it's really precious to me to have that connection and to have that physical coming together after all this time. So on top of that, every day I've just had precious time spent with my husband and special friends here as well as the ones overseas. So it's just been a really magical week. I let go of the attachment to the outcomes and I got tenfold back again as if. So it was lovely to witness that and to be in the joy of it all.
Thank you for sharing.
And plus running the programs, of course, on top of that every day as well. Just feeling very...
Did you find a new program that you really liked that you hadn't done before?
Not a new program, but obviously, I mean, yes, I suppose I've never run the kidney. I'd run, sorry, I hadn't run the lung.
The lungs.
But I have actually just intuitively felt to run the stomach and the large intestine, as well as I remember Ken talking about when you're running those physical programs to also run the care. So I was running them one after the other like that, so that you had that support as well. But just felt really refreshed. And last night I did a a scan, and the scan really, as well as looking at my chakras, and everything just felt in harmony. So I
Aw.
got really nice feedback. So I went to bed really chuffed, feeling really good.
That's
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I'll just touch before we get into the meditation,
Yeah.
because everyone's kind of been talking about being the preciousness of the moment, but the
Mhm.
lungs was a huge part of last week. And Ken did some amazing breath work with us. And he said, when you're triggered, do the box breath. Well, I was triggered later that night from something, and I was like, oh, box breath. And I swear 5 rounds of the box breath really helped. And not only that, but with all of my clients, I always take them through some breathing before I dive into the session. I had them do 5 rounds of box breath, and I swear it really chilled people out. So box breath,
It's the simple stuff.
box
God,
breath for president.
We really need to be reminded all the time. God,
Yeah.
honest to God.
So are you saying box breath is a program, or you were showing box
just
breath?
breathing, just the inhale. Yeah.
Inhale. For
Inhale,
right.
hold, exhale, hold.
Yeah. Inhale for 4, hold, hold for 4.
Okay.
Exhale for 4, and then hold for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was a
It's so
great,
funny you
I
say
pulled-
that too.
why?
Sorry.
No, go for it.
I just had I'm in a new yoga group, and this yoga teacher is so wonderful and is just really getting me to focus on breath and explore that. And I just came away, very, very peaceful and very just into visualizing the breath, which I don't think I've ever really done before.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting you made that comment as well, and that was happening for me yesterday.
Yeah. Breath work needs to be a part of everyone's daily, all the time. Okay.
So many things.
We are going to move into this week, which is the water element, the blues, kidneys and bladder. And so Kristen M. Wister, our beautiful guide, is going to take us on a meditation, a journey to
A
divinity.
journey to another world.
Yay.
I'm going to give you this in case people.
And I'm going to exit stage left.
Okay. All right. Very nice. All right, guys. So I invite you to close your eyes and just get comfortable in your seat. Just begin to become aware of your body and do a body scan starting from the top of your head down all the way to the bottoms of your feet. And just notice any areas that are tight, gripping, any areas that feel like pain or discomfort. And just start to allow your breath to breathe into those areas. Just be curious, just kind of soften into those areas. You can kind of almost think of it like, might be like a dam in your body, or like a block when we hold on to things too tight. And just allowing your breath to loosen up a little bit more, and softening just a little more. And imagine that you have the ocean waves, very gentle ocean waves, moving from the top of your head down through the bottoms of your feet. And just direct that flowing water energy through your breath into those places that are gripping, that are tight. Just allow yourself to soften just a little more, and allow the water element to flow. There are no hard edges with water. It's all soft. Just like there's no hard edges inside of our body. But it can feel very pointy and jagged sometimes. So if you can imagine that water just curving any of the discomfort, any pain, any of the emotional or mental heaviness. Water just wants to flow, teaches us to let go. Such a gift, such a metaphor. If you just sit in front of a creek or you're by the ocean, you just watch how that water keeps moving in and pulling out with the ocean, constantly moving and flowing. Or if it's in a creek, just watching it move around the rocks and slowly soften those rocks over time. Now I want to bring you to the next stage where we are imagining ourselves on a beautiful boat, beautiful catamaran in the Caribbean, in the Bahamas. And the weather is absolutely perfect. There's a really beautiful breeze and the sky is clear, the sun is bright, and the waters are so blue, just incredibly blue, aquamarine, Caribbean blue, turquoise. And you're with a group of friends, your pod of friends that you love to be with. You're having just the time of your life. And you decide to go into the water, so you put your fins and your snorkels on. And you slip into the water. And it's the perfect temperature. It's so warm, but refreshing. And it's so clear that you can see the bottom of the ocean, because it's really not that deep, maybe 15 to 20 feet deep, with white sand below, and you can see the fish and all the sea matter, the coral. It's so clear, and you just float. Put your mask in the water. And there's so much salt in that water that you are just literally floating with any effort, without any effort. Then you just decide to close your eyes and just totally let go. There's just a very, very gentle flow of the water. And you just kind of become one with it. And every area of your body just starts to let go even more. And water is teaching you to be flexible, to go with the flow, be fluid. You're feeling so relaxed, so at peace, and you just feel this cleansing water all over your body. And when you open your eyes, you start to see a pod of dolphins approaching, coming towards you and your friends. And you hear their calls, you hear their high-pitched squeals and their sonar clicking. They make the most fun sounds. It's amazing. And they're saying, we're here, we're here. They're seeking you out. And they're so playful as they come closer and closer, and you notice they're all around you. They're underneath of you, they're around you. And they start to play. And they start to move like the water. They flip over on their backs and show their pink bellies, swim upside down, swim sideways, tossing and turning and swirling like the water, the way the water moves. Reminding you how to be fluid, how to be flexible. They're such a mirror for us, and they tell you, stay together as a pod, because when you separate, we don't know how to connect with you anymore.
Mm.
And that's what they did when we separated. When we were all each kind of doing our own thing and kind of going after the dolphins and not looking around at our pod, our human pod, the dolphins left us. So we really had to observe their movements. We observed the way that they stayed together. Oftentimes they paired up. There was always a pair. And then they would individually sometimes go off, and then we'd come together as a pair, and then there'd be 4 of them, and then there'd be a whole cluster. They were constantly moving and changing and shifting in play, in joy, and in fun. And so they're reminding us that that is our true nature. That is our abundant nature. They are reminding us of the wisdom that is within us, that this is how we are wired. And as we began to play with them and stick together as a pod, we became stronger. And as we do these kinds of meditations and we do these gatherings together, we bond even stronger. So just remember, water also is to remind us of how abundant we truly are in all ways. Look how much water there is on the planet. It's a perfect example of the abundance that lies within you. So just play a little bit more with those dolphins. And just notice that there's one dolphin that comes up to you. And it looks you deep into your eyes. It almost has a smile on its face. And it looks into your soul, and your heart just melts. You let go even more into joy, your natural state. And the dolphins remind you how you can program water and how your thoughts affect every cell of your body, because you are made up of 70 to 80% water. And so when you're living in joy and you're feeling abundant and healthy and happy, you are raising your frequency, and all your cells and DNA is shifting into a higher state of consciousness and health and well-being. And when you're feeling down or you're thinking negatively for long periods of time, that also can have that a negative effect on you. So just remember how much you can imprint water with your mind, your internal body. You can imprint the water that you drink with love and blessings. You can go into a bathtub and have intentions for your water there. Or when you're in the ocean, sending blessings into the water. And so you thank the dolphins for this wonderful playtime together and this heart-opening experience. And you go back into the boat, climb back in. And then we connect in with the organs that are associated with water. So we place our hands on our kidneys and we just give them some love. The kidneys are the life force of our bodies. They create the chi within our body. They're so important. So you can rub your hands together, and we're going to give our kidneys some love. So rub your hands together, get them nice and warm. And then place them on your kidneys again. You can rub your kidneys. You can also pat your kidneys. It's a great thing to do every day. Just thanking your kidneys for all that they do for you. And then placing your hand on your bladder. Thanking your bladder for working with your kidneys and transforming chi, transforming liquid into urine so that we can excrete what no longer serves us, what we no longer need, keeping balance in the body. Thanking these important organs for all that they do for us, telling them how we love them. Love you, kidneys. Love you, bladder. You're so sexy. Oh, just being a little playful here. So as we finish, sending gratitude to these organs that do so much for us, and sending gratitude for the dolphins, for reminding us all these incredible things about ourselves, the abundance, the play, community, letting go, flowing, being present. We're going to end with one big deep inhale. So take a nice big deep inhale and hold it at the top. Take another little sip in and then let it out through an open mouth and sigh. And when you're ready, come back into the space.
Beautiful.
That was fun. Love sharing the dolphin magic.
Thank you, Miss Kristen.
You're so welcome.
Sexy kidneys, sexy bladder.
Yeah,
All
we're gonna
right.
love up on our sexy organs.
So now we are going to share this week's sheet
Okay.
and we are going to dive into what the water element, the bladder and the kidneys are telling us. What could be smoke signals of future forest fires in our body. So the up top is the link to the cheat codes. So everything that we have here, we have derived from Dr. Michelle Patrick's and Taryn Lee's videos, the cheat code series. And we've just condensed it and put it on a sheet. So if you want to go back and watch the entire video, I highly recommend it. It's the fourth session. And I'm going to hand it over now to Anna to talk about the body clock of the kidneys and the bladder.
Perfect. So diving right in, just to understand or better understand when our kidney chi is at its strongest is between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. And obviously it's in reverse for when it's at its weakest in regards to 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. when the chi of the kidneys is at its weakest. The bladder chi energy is strongest between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. and weakest 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Ashley, did you want to go into water element and just talking about the water element?
Sure. So I love this. The water element makes us surrender to life through our inner wisdom and being able to surrender into that deep inner knowing that we are held by however consciousness wants to move through us. The season associated with the water element is winter, a time for restoration and to expand as little or expend as little energy as possible. And water, we've probably heard this, but water controls our emotions, our fear, our ability to be heroic and brave, the will to live, the will of consciousness, and how it unfolds from the kidneys and into our lives. It's kind of crazy to think that like consciousness moves through our kidneys, but
I know.
it does.
Yep.
So
It's all connected. Everything is connected always.
yeah. So
Yep.
when we're in our superpower of the water element, what can we expect?
Okay, so the virtue of water when we're in our superpower is wisdom. Water contains all memory for all things, and it's our code of consciousness that we've been gifted in this life to express ourselves uniquely through an individual manifestation of creation. So water is wisdom, which is pretty darn amazing. It's our return to our origin in its highest authority, but it also governs fear. So you can be quite fearless or quite fearful. However, fear gets things done. If you think about water or an ocean, it keeps moving, it keeps coming along in flow. So that's what it gives us, is the ability to do so, to always be in flow and always be in the flow of wisdom.
Cool. I'm going to share something super vulnerable because you just inspired me to do so. And the Vibe Tribe is the place to do things like this. So when I started kind of awakening big time a couple of years ago, I didn't realize what I was doing, but I was meditating down by a creek. And I really think that the memory of the water impacted me, because I always felt whenever I was by water, like I could feel my cells kind of like moving in my body. But one time, it was in 2020, I was swimming in a creek and I'll never forget it. I went under the water in this beautiful, like purifying creek, and I heard clear as day, remember who you are. I got out of the water and I was like, what the hell was that? And I didn't tell anyone because, well, that would be weird, but it stuck with me and it was real. And since that experience, I've had other experiences with water, and maybe not everybody is as connected to water as I am, but I think that meditating by water, and that's actually the card that I pulled this morning, was like to go spend time by water.
Yep.
And I imagine that you experienced some crazy downloads when you were in water.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it later, but go meditate. If you want to be more connected to yourself, your higher self. And it says right here, it's our return. The water element is our return to origin in its highest authority. So go meditate by some water.
Yeah. I mean, and when you think about how connected we are with all the water in our body, it makes total sense that we'd be connected to water in that way.
All right, Anna, let's get into what's that?
I said so deeply, every cell, we're just so interconnected with the water element. Yeah, I love that.
Tell us about the bladder.
Oh, the bladder.
What's the matter with the bladder?
So bladder is for chi transformation. If you think of the body, and basically our bladder is taking fluids from the body and turning it into urine. Things filter from the kidneys into the bladder. So the kidneys are tonified, the bladder will be as well. So if the kidneys are tonified, the bladder will be as well. The bladder energy is at its peak at 3 a.m. and 5 p.m. It's often when people feel a lull in energy, especially if they're not well hydrated. I know for those people that may drink a lot of coffee, this is also when we experience a little bit of a crash. So tune in to your body. If you are somebody that kind of falls into that like lull of energy and you get really tired and start yawning around that 3 p.m. time frame, start drinking some water, get on top of that hydration, and really bring hydration back into the body. The bladder generates emotions such as fear and the ability to trust and feel safe in life, often tied to feelings of security and support of lack or lack of support in one's life. Feeling irritated or timid may also occur between this time frame. So just tune in, tomorrow at between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. and just see how your emotions are. What are you feeling? Does fear come up for you? Are you feeling any sense of the associated emotions when it comes to the bladder are emotions of blaming, dread, fear, horror, feeling peeved, aka pissed off, feeling conflict, internal conflict, external conflict, any type of insecurities, especially creative insecurities, feeling any type of terror, or if you've experienced terror in the past, is it resurfacing at that time of day? Feeling unsupported or wishy-washy in any capacity. So those are some associated emotions specific to the bladder. And when it comes to any type of imbalances or deficiencies with the bladder, it may be the excess negative emotional energy generated by that organ, which would look like fear-based energy. Physical issues that can arise if there's a chi deficiency, trouble with urination, eye problems. A lot of people don't associate the bladder with the eyes, but something to tune into. Runny nose or nasal congestion, nosebleeds, which I find interesting. So, this part of the face is very much associated to the bladder. Discomfort in the head, neck, back, groin, or buttocks area. So tune in, see what, are these any signs and symptoms that you experience on a physical level. There's always a deeper emotional tie to physical signs and symptoms that show up in the body. So something to look into.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that is
It's
so
just so
fascinating.
fascinating.
And I use these sheets with my clients. So now when somebody, if bladder comes up, bladder came up today.
Really?
Yeah, it totally came up today. Should have pulled up the sheet.
Wow.
But yeah, this is just a great cheat sheet to have.
Yeah.
So thank you, Anna. We had to create 2 sheets for the kidney because the kidneys are these little things that apparently are the batteries of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Little
And-
beans.
Yeah. And what's really wild about it that I learned from Dr. Michelle Patrick is we were born with a certain amount of kidney chi. With other organs, you can replenish that chi. With kidneys, you can't. So it's super precious, the chi that you have when you were born. And then from there, you just deplete it. And most people are depleted. And we'll get into how that is.
Yeah.
But most of us are depleted from really it's just overwork.
Yeah, what she was saying, which was fascinating, was that we deplete our kidneys every day by overworking, by even over exercise really depletes the kidneys, by doing recreational drugs and chronic long-term pharmaceutical drugs. So the stress of overworking is probably the most common thing that when we push, and then those people that exercise, really hard, it really does put a strain on your kidneys and you don't even really think about it. And those people that have like kidney stones and things like that, you have to be very careful. I guess we're coming up to that, but not to exercise during the weak part of the kidney, when it's in its yin phase, because that will put extra strain on the kidneys if you're having issues with your kidneys to begin with. And some of the best types of exercise to do to tonify your kidney it's still okay to lift weights and things, but if you're really going overboard, you're going to put a lot of stress on them. But one of the good things to do is yoga, tai chi, things like that. That helps to really bring more chi into the body.
Okay. And
Yeah.
how do you know if you are kidney deficient? Well, you could experience lower back issues, chronic lumbar spine and knee issues, night sweats, getting up to pee at night, occipital headaches, exhaustion and insomnia, hormonal conditions, hyper and hypothyroid conditions, blood pressure, anxiety, panic, chronic fatigue, sexual disturbances, addictive patterns, because this is a lack of will, forgetfulness, inability to memorize things, any nocturnal issues, and kidney stones, as Kristen just mentioned. So basically society has kidney issues.
Yeah, it's I remember when I was going through a lot of anxiety and like fearful depression and just things like that my kidneys would actually hurt. Like especially in the winter, you have to be really mindful not to let your kidneys get cold. Learned that from my Qigong teacher. So always make sure that your kidneys are warm. And I do remember just feeling a strain on my kidneys when I would go through a period of a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. The kidneys were really under stress. So I physically felt that, which was not fun.
I wish I had known a lot of this information a few years ago. I have a similar story. Well, I just had my first child and I was like a week out of postpartum and I just had to get out of the house and it was in the middle of the winter and I shoveled the driveway and I threw out my back. And yes, and those lower back issues, I also was burning the candle from both ends. I wasn't sleeping. I just went through like a lot of physical trauma and my body was just like shot. And when I say like, we have this societal programming to like, go, do, keep up with like all the things, very masculine energy to it. Yep. Where I was at a time in my life where physically I'd gone through something, but didn't take the time to rest and recover because of all of the belief systems that came up. Like, you got to keep up with the house, you got to keep up with the things happening around you. And, forget that you just had a baby. So, man, I tell you, I will feel my kidneys and that associated lower back issues due to that. Yeah, big sign. I love running the kidney program.
Yeah.
How do you, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but both of you have dealt with a serious postpartum.
Mhm.
How do you feel like having Healy and knowing this information would have helped you?
Oh my God, it would be leaps and bounds different. Yeah, I mean, just to be able to know that I could have something help me get into balance and help me sleep, help my nervous system calm down, and not have to take pharmaceuticals that I took. This was the missing piece for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
A
one of
million
the
times.
reasons why you're
That's
so
why I'm
passionate.
so passionate about
Yeah.
Healy. So
Yeah.
passionate.
And it's also an opportunity to tune into your body, which I was very much ignorant to the signs that my body was giving me.
Yep.
And I think now that I've had Healy for over a year, I have noticed more significant subtle shifts in my body than I've ever have before, like
Yep.
ever before. So for me, it's been very much a like self-awareness tool that I wish I had at that point in my life, for sure.
Agreed, 100%.
Well, let's get the word out there and help these women.
Yes.
Okay. So continuing on with the kidneys. Anna, do you want to take this?
Sure.
And you
Yeah.
know what? I'm reading that first line and we're talking about postpartum. I've been pulling mother cards like left and right. I was literally having a conversation today when I was feeling very exhausted because I'm about to go through my cycle. And so I'm exhausted right now, but I still had to go to work. And somebody through Healy was like, well, like, what is it that you need right now? I was like, honestly, I just feel like mothered. I just want to be mothered right now. And now I'm seeing this line. It's the mother of all organs. Or what did I just say? I just said organs.
Oh God. What are you thinking about?
I think that there's a big piece of the mother wound that we're going to be exploring this week that I really wasn't planning on it, but it's coming out. So anyway, continue, Anna.
Yeah, the synchronicities around the mother, mother wound is big for sure. So yes, mother of all organs, AKA batteries of life. They store the essence of chi, representing birth, growth, reproduction, fertility issues, and sexuality issues. They all happen within the water element. In regards to the kidneys and what they're responsible for, these are some things that we don't even think about and how important the kidneys are, but responsible for producing marrow. And they're tied into the bones in that capacity. Fueling the brain, rules the bones, cognition, growth, maturation, the storing of our essences, grasping chi, our willpower, ambition, and the ability to allow flow. And they help us create ambition in our lives and the desire to want to do that. So yeah, they play a huge role. That's for sure.
And oh my goodness, as I'm looking down, it says,
Menopause.
as we deplete our kidneys over life, we lose bone density, and women lose a lot more because of menstrual cycles. So that's why a lot of times women get osteoporosis when they hit menopause. But like I just said, I'm feeling super depleted right now. And I'm sure a lot of women do when they're going through their cycle. I've never run the kidney program during my cycle ever. Around it,
Yeah,
never.
it's amazing. We just don't think of these things, and it's this is so helpful as we learn every week. We're learning something new.
Well, and you were just saying, Ashley, about the brain fog, experiencing brain fog.
Major brain fog today.
Mhm.
And I don't experience that ever. And it was just today. I was exhausted, depleted.
Mhm.
I woke up at 4:30 a.m. and major brain fog. No, I'm going to run the kidney program right now.
Yeah, so it as we deplete over life, we lose bone density. Women lose a lot more because of their menstrual cycles. So that's why a lot of women get osteoporosis when they menopause. The kidney gives us the chi from the lungs. So a lot of asthmatic conditions are actually kidney deficiencies, conditions, not the lungs, and ear issues too. Tinnitus is not, Michelle was saying, it's not always your ancestors that are trying to speak to you, you know, oh, my ears are ringing. It must be like an angel or an ancestor. So ear issues as well. So there's so many things tied into the kidneys. It's really pretty amazing. And then just moving forward, that kidney massage is kind of what we did, just rubbing your hands together, getting them really warm. And you can do this every morning, and then just placing your hands on your kidneys. And we did this a lot with Qigong, where we would just like lean over and tap the kidneys. Another really good thing, this isn't kidney related, but if you just go down to your tailbone and just pound on your tailbone, that's another really good thing to get you really grounded. So when you're down there, you know, when you're patting your kidneys, just tap on your tailbone too. It's an amazing way to kind of bring your chi and energy up. And then the weakest time for the kidneys is 5 to 7. So exercise in the morning if you have weak kidneys, but not between 5 and 7 a.m. So try to stay away from that time frame. And then do you want to talk about the food?
Yeah. And how many people like who
Yeah.
are in corporate,
Yeah.
who are already exhausted and like talking about how depleted they are, get up that early and work out.
And work out.
I hope those
Yeah.
people find this call.
Mhm.
So the food for the kidneys, seafood, shellfish, oysters, and also I am linking that this kind of this type of food is also really good for your cycle. So I'm totally linking the two. I had no idea. Oysters good for libido, microalgae, how do you say that?
Spirulina.
Spirulina, blue and black food, seaweed, bone broth with seaweed. And then the suggested Healy program. Did you
So
have
I remember too that like kidney beans, like the black kidney beans are, you know, they're shaped like the kidney. So those are also really helpful for the kidney as well. Makes sense. Nature mimics it.
Okay, so the suggested Healy programs. There was a lot for this. And it's recommended to do, you can do 3 a day, but in the gold program, the being program, and we've done this in other weeks, but to tonify the attributes of the kidney. And again, try to do being when you're just being, try to do nothing. The sacral chakra, which is associated with the kidney and bladders, the bladder program in Meridian 1, the kidney program in Meridian 2, literally running that right now. In the deep cycle program, kidney all male and all female. And I want to touch on this real quick because a lot of times when you're doing a scan, if you're a woman and you scan, kidney all male could come up. It happens all the time. And people are like, well, wait a second, I'm a woman. Why is this coming up? Well, all Healy programs have a bandwidth of frequencies, some up to 500 frequencies in it. So just because somebody is male or female doesn't mean that their body isn't resonating with one or a grouping of those frequencies. And so if kidney all male is coming up for you, but you're a female, still run the kidney all male program. There's something that's resonating with you. The renewal program under deep cycle. You want to hit the rest? Biovitalization?
Yeah. So the bioenergetic vitalization, which is the stem cells, so bones, youth, kidneys are what turns, oh, that's right. Yeah. So when we deplete our kidneys, and the more we deplete it and the older we get, then our hair turns gray. So it's another reason why our hair is turning gray, because it's a kidney issue. All hair issues are aging.
And aging.
Yeah. So if we want to be more anti-aging, then we really want to protect the chi in the kidneys that we have, tonify our kidneys by, doing as much that we can to keep our kidneys healthy. Cell and epigenetic vitalization are the other ones in that program. And then digital nutrition, kidneys, especially if you're a naturopath, if you're on a naturopath protocol. Do you know what that has to do with anything?
She was just saying, like, if somebody is depleted with their kidneys and they're already going to, like, they're already on a protocol
Yeah.
with tinctures and
Oh, got it. Okay.
acupuncture or
Right.
chiropractor, then the digital nutrition programs, I'm gonna have to, I actually didn't even know that there were these incredible charts that have information on the digital nutrition program. I'll have to find them and give them to you guys. But the digital nutrition programs specifically, because there's a lot of overlap, like there's in Deep Cycle program, there's kidneys, and then the Meridians, there's kidneys, and then digital nutrition, there's kidneys. And it's like, well, why are they all kidneys? The digital nutrition program helps you digest food for the optimization of your kidneys. So if you're on some kind of special diet or something, the digital nutrition programs would be super beneficial for you, because sometimes we're eating all of these foods that we think are really good for us, but our body can't absorb it. And so the digital nutrition programs can help with that. They harmonize the bioenergetic field, so your and your organs, so your body can absorb the nutrients that you're putting in.
It's amazing.
Optimization.
Amazing. And then there's the spirituality in digital nutrition, because the water element holds a lot of memory, frequency, and vibration that goes all the way back to our first ancestors. So that's pretty darn deep. It's pretty amazing.
Remember who you are.
That's right.
Ooh. That was my ancestor saying that to me.
Oh, you're right. You're
I
right.
guess. I just thought about that right now.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Things just all come together at one time when we're just thinking of it, and it just starts to flow. And then libido, energetic and lifestyle, especially lifestyle for those who overwork and deplete the kidneys.
I've never done the lifestyle program.
I haven't either.
I'm excited to try it.
I haven't really used the digital nutrition very much yet. I still feel like there's a lot
I
to
do.
learn.
I love digital nutrition.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So then there's these programs for the mental attributes of the kidney, like panic attacks. Anna, you want to go through those?
Where is that?
Towards the bottom of the suggested Healy programs. In italicized, it says programs for mental attributes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So if you're experiencing anxiety, you can run the stimulation program. I don't know what that's.
I think it's
Oh,
the
Pain programs.
yes.
yeah. I was gonna say. So the
I should have the number there, but I
I
don't.
think it's 5 or 4 or something.
No, I think it's.
Is it 5?
that under that's under pain programs, right?
Pain program. Yeah, we'll find it.
Okay, pain and stimulation, run anxiety. Under the fitness programs, run stamina. You can run activation under the job program, good to open up space and allow consciousness to move through us. I've run activation before. I don't know about you, Kristen and Ashley, but activation, I need to run like sometime in the morning or the afternoon. Otherwise, like you're kind of up at night. Mental balance program, the inner unity, joining of the whole, and bioenergetic harmony 2, potency, the will to live. So if you're really struggling, potency can be a pretty amazing program to run. We got some amazing programs.
I just ran activation on one client today and potency on another client today. Like this, going through this program is like helping me be such a better practitioner, honestly.
It's true, because when you run scans, you start to see some of these things come up, and then you understand, like libido came up for one of my clients today. And so it was interesting to link it back to the kidney. And there's several references to kidney today. It was really interesting.
Synchronistic.
And for anxiety, it's the number 8. It's the 8.
Are you able to share that?
1, 2. Oh, to share it in the chat. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what.
Oh, that's what you did. Okay,
Yeah.
got
So
it.
we're gonna
All right.
send this little cheat sheet for the stimulation program into the chat if anyone doesn't have it yet.
Okay. So let me stop this share.
Ashley, if you have do you have the chart to the digital nutrition programs?
I need to find it.
That would be so neat.
I know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have So
Don't say it. I got all excited.
Find others. I'm gonna put
Yeah,
this.
if you have that, I would love to
I'm going
see.
to try to get it right now.
Awesome.
And I'm gonna stick this in the chat here. So I just put in the chat, the stimulation program. So this is something that we all need because it shows you what the numbers mean, the Roman numerals mean. So anxiety is 8.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could have used that when I was going through all my stuff. Oh, thanks,
sure.
Steve. So he says, I'm loving these suggested healing programs. Aren't they great?
Yeah, it's
just-
so fun. I
yeah.
mean, we've had Eric Healy for over 2 years
Yeah.
now. I think over 2 years. No, 2020. But
Yeah.
through this program, I've run so many programs I've never run
I know,
before.
yeah.
I'm really getting in tune with my body. I love it.
Yep. Super cool.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the homework and we're going to set our intention and then our fun bonus that you can only find here because we have Kristen M. Wister, Feng Shui expert extraordinaire with us. So the homework is we're going to continue on with what we've been doing. So we have the list. Can I see the list real quick? Just
Oh, I don't have the
you
list
know,
up.
okay.
Here, wait, let me just, I can share it.
I
Okay,
can find it.
let's see.
I got it. So the homework
Okay.
is, if you've never been on one of these calls before, the goal is to do all of these, but of course, if you can just pick and choose, at least do one. At least 15 minutes of grounding a day, putting your feet on the bare earth or gardening, aligned breath work, 7 minutes of doing nothing. And you can combine that with doing the being program, drink half your body weight in water, in ounces in water. And that's especially important this week. We are going to be drinking tons and tons of water, right, everyone?
Mhm.
Run 1 to 3 Healy microcurrent programs a day, and journal which programs you do and how you feel before and after. Move your body for 20 minutes a day and do something to fall in love with life. I think we did a lot of that this week, falling in love with life.
Mhm.
And also on the sheet, the second page of this week's sheet, we have 2 added things. We have the kidney massage. So let's do our kidney massage every single day when we wake up. What are we doing, Kristen?
We are patting our kidneys
Are we
and we're
rubbing our hands?
rubbing our hands together and then placing them on our kidneys. We're giving them love. We do that 3 times and then
Sexy kidneys.
sexy kidneys and then tapping the kidneys.
We're so goofy.
And then the tailbone. That feels amazing. Honest to God, it feels so good.
That was
So
unplanned.
there you go, guys.
Kristen and I are excited to be back together. So every single morning, first thing, let's do a kidney massage. And then on that sheet is a suggested documentary to watch, which actually really blew my mind. It's called The Secrets of Water. It's on Gaia. So
Cool.
the link on that sheet is that goes to a YouTube that's like a 30-minute preview of it. It's not the actual documentary. You would have to get that on Gaia, but that's just a recommended thing. So
Can they find that if they click on the Solstice Sync Up? Is it showing up when you click on it?
no, because I did images, not the PDF. So
Okay.
we have to, I'll share it. I'll
Okay.
share those 2 links. I'll share the cheat codes and water.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So now we are going to get into our intention for the week, intention setting for the week. So we're just going to take 2 minutes, and out of everything you heard today, if anything resonated with you, take a second and take a minute and write down your intention for the week. Okay,
You want to share?
sure, I'll share. So my intention for the week is to focus on my connection to water. I'm actually going around water on vacation. So I'm going to see if something like what I shared tonight happens again. Just be really focused
I love
on that connection. I'm also going to do the kidney massage every single day and eat lots of seafood.
Mm.
And I'm going to see if it helps with any of my symptoms of like exhaustion. And another one that came up during this call and earlier, and I've linked the two, is deal with some mother wounds. Yeah.
I love that.
I didn't even really know I had them.
Until we started talking. Isn't that crazy?
We all do though.
Yeah,
So
we all do. We all
I'm going to
do.
focus on them. What do you have?
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of share similar things because I'm going to the shore too, and I'm planning on just spending time seeing the sunrise and the sunset. So I'll be on the ocean and the bay. Definitely eating more seafood, and connecting it into that kidney energy, just mindfully, thinking of supporting and tonifying my kidneys. Also, I'm going to be more aware of where I'm pushing too much. Where am I depleting my energy? Because
I'm
do
stealing that
I
one.
do that a lot. So I want to really be mindful and, take some breaths and let go. And I had so much dolphin medicine and water medicine from this trip. And so really when we were in the water and, they had 2 lines that came off the boat with all these handles, and you could have 8 people on each line, and we would hold on to the handles and the boat would go at 1 knot at the same speed as the dolphins, so we could kind of swim with them. And when you held on to it, it was kind of scary because 1 knot, when you're on with a snorkel and fins and the water's going like this, and if you get something in your goggles, you can't put your face up because everything would go into your mask, so you have to kind of turn your head. And at first I think we were all gripping for our dear lives, and then I just surrendered and I just allowed, I just kind of became part of I was like the water. I was with the water and I just let everything go. And it was so amazing to just surrender. And so what I'm saying is I'm going to remember that and bring that in when I'm starting to feel anxious or I'm holding on or gripping to something. And just to be playful like the dolphins, and being more present, just that childlike wonder that happens when you're around them, is a freeing feeling rather than this rigid,
Sure.
adult feeling. So
Beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good week.
it's going to be a great week. Yeah.
Does anybody, before we get into our feng shui of the week, have anyone else want to share their intentions?
And I just wanted to share one thing that Veronica put in, something that she's doing with postpartum. So there's a link here to help with that.
Okay.
I think it's something to do with painting or doing some artwork.
Okay.
And
Wonderful.
that's amazing. So if anyone wants to click on that.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Anyone want to share?
All right. Well, then let's get into
Okay.
the feng shui of the water
The
element,
final piece here, guys.
the bonus.
Yes. Okay. So this.
So dreamy.
This is fun. Okay. So the water element in feng shui is all about flowing and flexibility. It's a relaxing energy. It's very reflective. It's very social. Like think about how people want to be around water. It brings up a social environment. It's very introspective, and it can be very still, and it can be very deep. It's the season of winter. It also has to do with the middle sun. Every element has to do with a certain, or in the Bagua, depending on where it's located, has to do also with a family member. I didn't put that on here. It's in the north, so it's about your career and your life's journey. So that does kind of hook you into like, where is your life taking you? Kind of like The east is associated with your ancestors, but your life's journey is also very deep and very karmic. And, where are you going in your life? The body part has to do with the kidneys, the bladder, and in Feng Shui, it has to do with the ears and the blood, because the kidney tonifies the blood too. Like I said, the direction's in the north, and the creative element, I'm gonna move this out of the way here, is metal. So think about when you have metal and there's condensation or dew, it kind of forms on the metal, and the metal also contains water. So that's a creative element that supports it. And then the destructive element is earth. So when you, if you're creating a dam or something, you're damming it up. So that was kind of like when I was going through the meditation and thinking about like the blocks or dams in our body, like there's earth. Just imagine that the water's just breaking that
I
up.
love that.
Yeah. All right, I think it's over here. This picture I took while we were in the plane, flying from Fort Lauderdale to the Bahamas, to Bimini, and it was like, the water was incredible. So it was just so incredible. So water is associated with wealth and prosperity in Feng Shui. It's all about abundance. The colors are all the tones of blues and black, because if you think about really deep water can almost look black. The movement is downwards, and materials in your home would be the physical water, glass, and fish, if you have fish in a bowl. The shapes are very wavy and curly and spiral. They're irregular, free-formed, or thrown together kind of a feel. The water element is particularly suited for those looking for relaxation, peace, and socialization. So if you want to have a home that feels, if you really need that, you can put yourself into that type of an atmosphere. So qualities of the water element when in balance, being flexible and go with the flow, empathetic, creative, artistic, deep, and empathetic. And when out of balance, become a worrier or fearful, that kidney energy that gets very fearful, overly emotional, overly sensitive, moody, and you can stir things up when you're, out of balance with the water element.
Sounds like PMS.
Yeah, it sure does, doesn't it? Yep. And then let me see.
My water element's out of balance.
That's what it sounds like.
Hmm.
Yep. So watercolors, here's just a couple different varieties. So I was just trying to show you everything, well, like navies and blacks, and this is supposed to look like a dark
Turquoise.
Yeah, dark turquoise.
Teal.
Teal heading into black. So light blues, medium blues, dark blues, aqua colors, things like that. Decor representing the water element, anything that is, as far as like images go, anything that has water in it, any kind of, moving, free flowing type of artwork.
Kind of looks like frequency.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Mhm.
Here's just a bedroom that has a bunch of blue in it. Kind of some soft blue walls. Any type of, this is when you bring water fountains into the home too. So when I'm doing a Feng Shui consultation and someone needs to add water, it needs to be at least 2 quarts of water. And so we recommend either a water fountain or a fishbowl for the actual real element. Sometimes that's challenging. Or you can also use the color blue as well, but the real element of water is kind of more important if water is needed in that particular space. And then kind of, this is just very organic looking shapes, like coral, and this would be very watery, this type of furniture. And then,
Ooh, look at that bathroom.
Feng Shui do not, however.
Don't. Oh, I like
I
it.
know, I like it too. But we want to avoid adding too much blue in a bathroom because water is associated with abundance. And when you have drains in your bathroom, it's draining out. It's a draining energy. So when you add even more blue, it becomes like double water and double draining. So it's not recommended feng shui wise to have a ton of blue in a bathroom.
So you could have like just the backsplash in the
Yeah.
in the shower.
I never like to say, like, I don't know, like when there's like these hard set rules, I just feel like rules are meant to be broken to a
Mhm,
certain extent, just you can still have some blue, but just try not to overdo the blue.
mhm.
And then we also adding too much blue in a bedroom because it can elicit, and especially when you're looking at your artwork is really important. So if you have like above your bed, for instance, if you have a big water scene, or it's something that you see first thing when you wake up or when you go to bed, it can really impact. If you are an emotional person, it can make you more emotional. But if you need to feel more emotions, then that probably would be a good thing. So everything's subjective, but just be aware, especially what hangs above your head when you're sleeping or where you're sitting or behind your desk. The artwork can really influence you in many ways, and you really want to feel good about that artwork and feel like it's balancing you out and not taking you too far into one emotion or the other. And then here's some good examples. I like to make them extreme, but you'd be surprised at what people have in their homes. It's really quite interesting. Just really rough seas equals rough life. Sometimes there's clients that have had some really like a boat that's like almost capsizing. And is that right? Did I say that?
Mhm.
And when you ask the person, what does this mean to you? It's like, well, I was able to maneuver this way and it just shows me my strength. And, but I think that particular person was really struggling in their business. And so if you have that kind of artwork, it's also creating struggle. So you want something to really support you and not go against the flow for you and create havoc. And then I'm now adding feng shui fashion to this piece because it's just so much fun. So here are examples of wearing the water element. So obviously any dark colors are good, and anything asymmetrical, abstract patterns like what this woman has on, fluid fabrics, flowing silhouettes, and then the shapes of spirals and things like that, and unexpected mixes. And I think Miss Ashley is very, very good at that, which I love. So I feel like we're definitely, you and I are definitely really water. We wear a lot of water. But if you are too flowy and you're too emotional, then you might want to put some fire in there or some earth. Like you might, when we get too
You could just
flowy,
turn and look at me.
so maybe sometimes you might need a little more structure, a little
Oh.
more support.
Oh,
So that might be
geez.
some earth that could be even in the shapes that you wear. It's interesting.
You know, it's a funny story. I'll make this short, but I wear, if you've seen me full body, I'm usually wearing clothes that are one size fits all. It literally, my tags say that.
Oh my God. I'm gonna tell that's not.
Yeah, I mean, we'll
Yeah.
leave the name out,
All right,
but
cool.
a man wanted to dress up to surprise somebody who is a very
My husband.
okay, it's her husband. How tall is he? He's tall.
He's like 6'2".
And we wanted to play a joke on Kristen when she got back from her trip. So he was like, I want to dress up and wear like a Healy. And
because I wanted, we had an intention that, I'm working on myself, I'm going deep, and it'd be helpful if you worked on yourself too, and like this is part of growing together. And, just as I go away and when I come back, sometimes that coming back can be kind of hard. So Ashley was working on my behalf while I was away. And
he did a lot of work, but he was like, I want to dress up in your clothes and go pick her up from the airport. He was like, do you have anything that fits me? And I was like, I have everything that fits you. And when he put on my clothes, they were big on him.
do you want me to share the video?
No, Scott would kill you. He'll kill
She
you.
did a video and I was like, who is this indigenous person? I don't know who this person is. She was just crazy. She was wearing cantha and all this headband and a big heely, and
It was my clothes.
yeah, it was her clothes.
And I just couldn't believe how big they were on him. And I wear them all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop wearing them,
Yeah.
by the way. It's just awareness. It's an awareness. So
your clothes say a lot about you.
basically I choose one, the top or the bottom, and then wear like a more of a structured pant or something is what you're trying to
That's,
say.
that's right.
We'll say I am who I am. I'm very much water element. So, okay.
Thanks, Anne. Yeah.
We went a little longer
Okay.
tonight, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did.
Kristen and Anna are back and we miss them.
Mhm.
So I hope you enjoyed tonight. And I hope you have, this is a really important week. The kidneys are important. So I hope that out of everything that you took today, that you just spent a little time or a lot of time on connecting with your kidneys and taking care of your kidneys and loving your kidneys.
And love up on that water. Just go with the flow. See where you're holding on. Just let it go as much as you can. For sure.
All right, that's it. So if anyone wants to jump on, say goodbye, say anything, we'll sign off in just a second. Any questions or?
Repeat. Oh, you want to I want to repeat with Scott next time I see you. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll fill you in, Heather. Oh,
All right.
yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
I will
Good to
not
see
see you next
everyone.
week, but Kristen
Yeah,
and Anna
we'll
will
be
be on
here.
it.
We'll be here.
All right.
Thanks
So
for
good to see you
joining.
all.
Thanks for
Enjoy your
coming.
vacation.
Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.